What's going on, world? I'm Pettis the accountant, grooving like I groove. I'm only doing this video because something in my spirit is telling me that somebody needs to hear it, right? Don't let anyone else put their fears on you. Don't let anyone else tell you that you shouldn't do something because of whatever they fear or because they feel like you shouldn't do it. You know what I mean? If it's something that came across your mind, something that you always wanted to do, or something that you even had interest in doing, and most people as humans, we seek out information from people that we trust, right? We go to the people that we look up to and we ask them like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this or I'm thinking about doing that, right? And most people don't end up doing it because of the response they get from that person they went to or that person that they really trust, right? So what I'm telling you is it's not their fault, that they believe whatever they believe or they think the way however they think, right? But you will never know until you find out for yourself. For example, I grew up in the city of Detroit on the east side. Growing up, all my life I used to hear people say, oh man, I'm not going across 8 Mile, my license suspended. I'm not going across 8 Mile, I ain't got no insurance, right? Sad note, most people in Detroit wouldn't have insurance because the insurance is super high. It's like more than rent sometimes depending on your zip code, right? But that's a whole nother story. Now, they say, well, I ain't going across 8 Mile, and we young, like, hey, can you take us to the butterfly? It's on Gratiot and 13 Mile or Van Dyke and 13. I don't remember exactly where it was at, but it was across 8 Mile, right? And you see people say, well, I'm not going across there. My license suspended, or no, I don't leave the D. People say it all the time, believe it or not. And it's got crazy because as I grew up and got older, I found myself saying the same stuff. I found myself saying, I ain't going across 8 Mile because every time I cross 8 Mile, I get a ticket. Every time I cross 8 Mile, something happened. Now my license is suspended. Every time I cross 8 Mile, that's what I started thinking like before college. Fast forward, I get to college, Michigan State University, go green. And it's like, all right, I get there and they're telling me all about these different programs. It's a whole, like, just a new experience. Like, I don't understand anything that's going on because I was a first generation college student, so I didn't really have too many people I can go to and ask about the different things that happens at college, right? So they start talking about study abroad, like where you can go to another country and take classes and you get the credits for it, right? I always envisioned myself going somewhere. I just never thought it was possible. Okay, so when I went to my loved ones and I went to some people and said, "Oh, I want to go do this study abroad experience." Oh, what you want to do that for? You gotta get on a plane, or they gonna take you this far. What if this happened? What if something happened to the plane? Right? And then you talk to some of your friends and stuff. Oh, you going to Mexico? They killing people in Mexico. People die in Mexico. Hold on. People die every day in Detroit. You know what I mean? It's something happens all the time there. Like, this is the environment that I grew up in. So you telling me, oh, I shouldn't go this place because of something that you heard and you never been before. You know what I mean? And it started making me think about, like, why am I even asking people that never did it before? Like, it wasn't that smart on my end because of the fact that I went against everything that people were saying and I actually went. It changed my life and it changed it forever, right? I was able to go to Mexico, and from Mexico I went to Japan on another study abroad. Like a couple of weeks later, like a month or two later, I went straight to Japan. You know what I mean? I stopped listening to people saying that because they still do it to this day, right? I'm 29 years old right now, and I've been to almost 30 countries so far since college, okay? And to this day, I still get people say, "Oh, what you going there for? Oh, this might happen. Oh, they got this going on over there, and all of this stuff." They may have that, but we got the same thing. So, what does it matter? You know what I mean? What does it matter? So, at the end of the day, don't let nobody else put their fears on you. Like I said, it's not their fault. They might not think that. You know what I mean? They're just not thinking big enough, right? In my opinion, they're not thinking. They might not be thinking the same as you. They don't see what you see. We all have different sets of eyes, so we all gonna see things differently, right? Somebody said it couldn't be done, but he with a chuckle replied that maybe it couldn't, but he be one who wouldn't say so until he tried. So he buckled right in with a bit of a grin on his face every word he hit it. He started to sing as he tackled that thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. Somebody scoffed. You'll never do that. At least no one has ever done it. So he took off his coat and he took off his hat, and the first thing you know, he begun it. With a lift of his chin and a bit of a grin, without any doubting or quit it, he started the scene as he tackled that thing that couldn't be done, and he did it. There are thousands to tell you it couldn't be done. There's thousands that prophesy failure. There's thousands to point to you one by one the dangers that wait to assail you. Just buckle right in with a bit of a grin. Take off your coat and go to it. Start the scene as you tackle that thing that couldn't be done, and you'll do it. Edgar guess couldn't be done. Grooving.